In this vlog, the workspace gets cleared, filaments get compared, and the multiboard tiles finally claim their place on the wall. This is all the last snaps for the multiboard. I actually need to print a snap removal tool, which I haven't done, but that in here we have a quick batch of samples that are all coming out in different colors running, and I cleared those two off already earlier in the day. So they'll finish, clean up here, and then we'll set the long prints on. Change this setup now. The light is hanging off the roof, which is much easier for when I'm taking photos because it's out of the way and I can work under it. Little area, just got to be versatile. So, and there's our multi-board stack that will all go up there. So yeah, we've got a lot to tidy up because it's an absolute mess. Let's get into it. By the way, this one's Sunlu, and this one's Jayo. They're the same thing. They're just different spools. Yeah. Here you go. Okay, Sunlu, Jayo. Same filament, different spools. These are the reusable spools that open. I haven't seen any refills for Sunlu yet. And these are the Jayo spools. Both work in the AMS. I think the Jayo is slightly wider, but it might just be my eyes. But yeah, they do both work in the AMS. Very happy with them. If you look on the Jayo website, I don't know if it's still on there, but if you look at the cached version on Google, it actually tells you that Jayo is a sub-brand of Sunlu. So it is the same filament on different spools. These are reusable, these are not. These are quite flexible, but they do work in the AMS. And I guess a little bit of flex means they won't crack and break. I don't know, they're just cheaper to make, but they do work absolutely fine in the bamboo AMS. And so do these. So I think at some point they're going to release refills, but I think they've already updated these spools. There's a newer version that's got a slight difference on there, and it goes straight onto the AMS light, but these do work in the normal AMS perfectly. These are our multi-board standoffs, and these go into the wall, and then these panels all join together and they clip through like that as how it works. To join a few panels together, we've got these. Let me find another one. We've got these, and if you have a look, these ones sit flat and this one is offset. I'll move that away so there's less green in the way. Now you put that in here and they now butt up, and you screw it, and then you can screw it 4 more and in it goes. And then your panels, because this will do 4, you get 1 panel here, you get 1 panel here, and you'll do 2 up there, and that links your 4, and that's the multi-board, and it turns into that there. So now that we've got everything printed, I think we should look at getting this up. So these are the bottom caps, or these are standoffs. Let's get the snaps that go on top of those, and that's these here. And there is enough of these to cover all of those. Hey. said, these cryo plates, I prefer the blue ones to the grey, I'll be honest, but I've been using this grey for all PETG printing because I don't like mixing my PLA and PETG plates. So, and that's why this printer here has been doing all the multi-board prints lately, because it just means I'm running the PETG onto the same plate. How are these all looking, these samples? Oh yeah. Slowly coming. These are our multi-board stacks. You can print multi-board individually, one sheet at a time on your printer, or you can print a stack of them. Now there's two ways to achieve this, and when I say a stack, watch, grab the stack and they come apart, and again they come apart. What's on here is, this is PETG, this is PETG with PLA. So it puts a layer of PLA and then it prints the next layer of PETG and it creates a stack. And these, as you can see, this has yellow in it. I'll get one of the, hold on, do I have another red one? I do. It'll show up a bit easier on the camera. You can see there's red in there. So the idea behind this is, instead of having to do that slow first layer, print, come back, clear it off, wait, print, and that repetitive cycle of doing that 30 odd times, you can just print stacks and then they come off and you just pull them apart. Now we'll see if one of these comes off easy enough. They're meant to. So you just get your scraper in here. There we go. Right. Now it will most likely break at some point as you take it off, so it'll take multiple tries. No, that didn't. There you go, that came off clean. So that is your PLA layer, that is your PETG. And just like that, we now have two. So instead of doing a print job and taking it off, I've got multiple. There's another one here. Let's do another one of these. Yeah, these got red on them. Actually look quite cool. All right, so this has two sides. That's it. Can put a nail in there, but just using your hand should be enough. Wow, there you go. Done. So just like that, we now have all of these. And think about how long that would have taken, one by one, to print and take off your printer. So I have 3 more stacks to clean up, which we'll do now. And then we'll move into the phase of getting the multi-board up on the wall. So that's pretty easy, and that's actually quite impressive, and it works really, really well. Some of these broke coming off, like you saw that, easy enough to get off. Other ones stayed whole. Now these ones have some yellow that's red, so I'm just using whatever partial PLA I had left to separate it from the PETG. So we'll finish separating and then we'll go to mounting it on the wall. That all done. These actually look quite cool. Yeah, give them to the kids, they can use them to craft something. Next stage, take that away and then add our multi-board. But before we do that, there's a nifty little tool I need to finish the multi-board in case I put something on incorrectly. So we'll grab that off and we'll put it together. looks good. Looks like that end. Guessing I'm meant to glue it. Is my guess. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Done. All right, we're going to clear all this stuff off and we're going to set up the entire multi-board. Instead of doing sections and putting it up, I'm going to set up the whole thing on there. We're going to put a couple of things under it to lift it so it's sort of level off the bench, and then we're going to screw it in. It's a quick and easy way just to get it done. And before we forget, we need to take this board away. That can go up there. All right. So this is what we call an edge tile. This is a core tile. This has points on both. And that is a corner tile. Here we go. I put that in the wrong spot. There we go. Right, so we did print everything correctly. So it is 60 centimeters tall by 1.6 wide. Now you can customize these, the size of these, if you get the subscription. It's great. I was quite happy with this. In hindsight, maybe if I took one row off, it would have sat perfectly equal with the one on the wall. Anyway, it is what it is. It'll be off by an inch or whatever, that's fine. This thing looks absolutely ridiculous, but it works. So it enables me to use two hands to do things while I film. And like I said, ideally, I'm not coming out here to film, I'm coming out here to do. I'm just filming what I'm doing. So yeah, win-win. So these go together. And then, yeah. So they go together. That clips in. That clips in. That clips in. And that clips in. There we go. Now we do have these bits that then snap in the top. Now we can snap them in now if we want. Now this can take 5 screws if you're lining it up. I'm not going to bother. 4 screws is more than enough. I don't really feel there needs to be 5 screws in there. So, and you can still put a screw straight through the middle. So if we want to lock it in properly, there we go. And that's effectively how multi-board works. So screw in the middle, up on the wall. Anyway, we'll go through and we're going to install all of those and all the offsets. Multi-material finish produces a much better, much cleaner finish. And the PETG, I've struggled doing, there's an ironing finish. Now that ironing allows you to do the multi-stacks like I showed earlier without having a PLA or PETG in between. On the PETG it doesn't work. It works well on the PLA if you tune your printer, but on the PETG I didn't have as much success, so I put the PLA in between. Like whack-a-mole or that alligator game. So they're all done. They're the core ones. Now I've got to do the edges, which are all the twos, doubles and the singles. There'll be people saying, oh, you should screw it on before you put these caps in. The screws fit straight through the holes. These clips also come in different clipping strengths. You've got standard, you've got tight, permanent, and it just changes the tolerances of them. And this is the very last piece. And there we go. We've got no pieces in there. And that's our multi-board assembled. So it needs to be lifted and screwed in, but that will be multi-board on that entire wall. If you have the new H2D, you could actually print this with less squares, meaning you'd need less connectors, because it's got a bigger build surface. So the larger the build surface on your printer, the less of these tiles you need. And if you're doing the multi-material stack like I did with a H2D, and you can have one material in one nozzle and one in the other, and it would print out even quicker. But these are perfectly possible on these P1S printers, as you can see. Bed's more than big enough. And I've had this up for over 6 months, and it's been absolutely brilliant. So now we're just going to work out how high we're going to lift it, and then put a couple of screws in to hold it in, then get in and really screw the rest of it in. In terms of screws, we're just using these, and we're going to use our impact driver. We're not going to pre-drill anything. We're just going to let them zzz straight through with the impact driver. Why so many? Are these meant to break off? I wonder people who do this packaging design, what the hell they're thinking. All right, is that the hinge up there? How am I meant to get into this? Yeah, assemble a multi-board, but not the other way. Okay. Oh, we're overthinking it. There is no hinge. That's it. Straight in. Alright, well, let's try and line one section up and see how we go. That looks pretty much in line. Let's throw a screw in. Looking pretty level. The gap is even. Now we've just got a million screws to go through and put in. All right, row here, 2 rows there. I'm just going to do the rest really quickly. Every now and again you get one and the head's not right, it's full, like it's made faulty. So that's the multi-board. Same way I've got stuff over there, we'll put stuff on there. That is exactly double the size of that one there in terms of length. The height, it's 25% lower because I've got the shelf up there. So there we go. We'll start filling it out over the next few weeks and just getting more stuff off the bench. So I leave the bench clear, and the more that's on the wall, the more usable this space is on the bench. We're just 2 vlogs away from an awesome project. In the next video, we'll be setting up to achieve perfect ABS print in super cold conditions. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out.